last Thursday, as soon as we got off the pod, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion released their video for WAP.
WAP, baby.
Yeah, and we watched it together.
Yes.
What'd you think?
What I think?
Yeah.
Huh. Wifey busted in a room and my hand was going up and down under the blanket. Like, oh my God. No, that's foul. I'm only kidding. I have so many mixed emotions about this. And I only mention that because I saw NY Oil do some live. He said, I'm going to check this video out live. And it was so funny. I have a lot of mixed emotions. The video was ratchet as hell. Yeah, yes. Yeah. But that wasn't nothing new with what's going on. Okay. But lining it up in conjunction with what we just saw last week with Black is King.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So coming off Black is King, where no matter what you think about Beyonce, you really got to say that it was uplifting, at least from the optics. So your young daughter's sitting watching Black is King. Okay, fine. Right. And then your young daughter's sitting there watching Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. It's two different, dynamics, two different energies going on. So I thought the timing was, peculiar.
Yes.
But I also understand we and I like Cardi B. That I supported her first album.
I thought her first album was very good.
I thought the first album was very good because it told her story. It had some ratchet stuff in there, but she also had some songs about love and relationship and growing up. And I'm not one to really judge an artist's art, especially coming into the gate, because a lot of them don't know no better.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you know better, you do better. However, I think this was a deliberate case of just ratchetness and to suck up the bottom of the energy that's left. Those who haven't started the ascension, there's still a lot of food down there. And I thought they went straight for the food at the bottom of the, the tank, like scavengers, just to get all of that energy. I saw some symbolism. We'll talk about some of that in the videos. There's symbolism in all of these videos. What's the Kardashian sister? She was in there.
Kylie Jenner.
Kylie Jenner, which co-signed. That's how they got their empire. The whole Kardashian family. So people were upset that she was in the video, but she was co-signing this ratchetness. And even for me, who appreciates art and you doing what you want, I thought that this was very ratchet. 19 Keys had a very good point that we'll discuss as we talk about the conversation in depth, that if a man puts out a video of that magnitude with all these women shaking their ass and this and that, it's misogynistic. But if women do it, it's empowering.
Right.
So we have a real weird dynamic. And I'm not talking about the women in our chat who probably going like, listen, I couldn't take it. So what were your initial takes on this?
So first of all, the video itself, for what it was, I took it for what it was. I thought it was okay. You know what I mean? It's okay, whatever. I don't expect anything really out there from Meg or Cardi. I don't expect to hear anything that'll change my thinking or anything. So I feel like we have to adjust our expectations based on the artist.
Based on the artist. That's like saying 9/11 happened, let's get Ja Rule on the phone.
Right.
Like what the hell we speaking to Ja Rule for?
Right.
So we don't expect Cardi B, who's a mindset,
who's a former stripper, and she doesn't hesitate to tell you about it.
So you don't expect growth from these artists until 5-10 years down the line.
Right.
In the grand scheme of things. Right. They out getting their money, they ratchet. When she gets a little older, I think she'll look back on some of the things she did because of the importance of image connected with music and the visual optics and how that can affect kids.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So the greatest drug on the planet is sex right now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like that is what sells, that is what moves. And we've always talked about like women being the most music consumers. So if this is supposed to empower women, like they say, like some of the people in the video say, like they do this to empower themselves, then it was kind of a layup in that sense. So it was an easy it's an easy kind of hit. You know what I mean? The more vulgar, the more ratchet, the more exposure, the more press it gets. You know
and attention is the new form of currency. So let's not act like this is not getting the attention that she expected it to.
And then the way they were hyping it was like, yo, even the clean version not gonna be able to play on the radio.
Right.
Like that's how,
and that's taboo.
Yeah, that's
and
how
that makes people want to see it.
I gotta see this video. I gotta hear what they're talking about. So that's what that's just what it was. But to your point of coming off Beyonce, coming on to that, right? A lot of people, including myself, I feel like there can be a duality in everything. You get what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, I like to listen to conscious music, and I love my drug dealing music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I love it both. So I think, I'm not sure why this got so much of the backlash it did, because again, it's just another song full of stripper songs that are out there, right? The sex worker, porn star, like that aesthetic has been what music for women is.
No,
already.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about the other women of the Cyrocks out there. I'm not talking about those MCs, those female MCs, but the mainstream female MCs, the stripper music, that is the sound. You know what I'm saying? They need to talk about that. So it was just another one to me. You know what I mean? I didn't really see the big deal, in my opinion.
I just thought the big deal came after the energy of Black is King.
When you put it that way, I get it. It was like right after.
You know, so when we start thinking about how energy moves, and there's a war going on. So let's say Beyonce, shout out Aunt C, the Aquarium. We appreciate that support.
Thank you.
So let's say Beyonce is attempting to show her growth.
Right.
You know, on the surface. And I can get into all the particulars on her growth, because she used to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not to that extreme.
Yeah.
And now you have another faction of the hard hats or the real estate people who's like, yo, we gonna get this thing back to where it used to be. And then coming out of COVID, when you had time to reflect, you had time to think, you had time to go inward, is what I'm trying to say. I'm expecting more from all artists.
Okay.
Not just Cardi B, but my expectations for Cardi B would never be here,
right?
Because of her mentality,
right.
So she gave you, as a business. See, and this is another thing, and I wrote about this in Urban Culture Decoded and Hip Hop Decoded from a business standpoint. They don't care how conscious your rhymes are. Are they selling?
Right.
Are the people purchasing?
Right.
Or they not purchasing? We going with what purchase or what the purchasers are after. And we know that's sex, that's violence, that's drugs, that's painting ourselves in these negative narratives. It just is what it is. And from an industry standpoint, the gatekeepers are only looking for this information now.
Right.
So they're looking for the hustler. They're looking for the drag queen guys or the guys who are teetering on the line with their femininity.
Okay.
And the women in particular have to look a certain way and talk about their box. So in that sense, she checked off all the boxes. She got the publicity she needed. She got people talking about it. She got the cosign from one of the Kardashians. You know, she got Meg the Stallion, a dope artist at the time who's in the news for other reasons, got her checked off. And so she checked off all the boxes. So I'm not going to sit up here and get holier than thou. That's not what I'm trying to do. I just looked at it as a chess move coming off of Black is King.
Right.
That, you know, they went there, and Cardi B is making no qualms about where she's going with her music. And in her mind, this is what empowering women is. And I'm not sure if I was 20 and a female, I wouldn't feel the same way based on all the craziness that's going on in the world. That's why these conversations with our children have to become extensive. You know what I mean? Have to become extensive on, is this what you want? You know what I mean? Because that's not going, selling your box is not going to empower you in the grand scheme of things.
Listen, if you'd have seen some of the arguments online, you'd be surprised, right?
No, yeah.
Because now in 2020, the term sex work is...
It's like working at the post office.
Yeah, it's being like paraded. You know what I'm saying? It's being like, you know, and they usually say like, oh, prostitution was like the oldest profession in the world and stuff like that.
But the difference with that is, you got to understand, the king didn't just go to get some box. Those so-called prostitutes were spiritualists. They were masseuses. They dealt with all of his issues. They worked magic, sex magic. So it was a lot entrenched in him going to get sex from somebody else. It wasn't just, yo, bring these hookers in here. These people were highly regarded because of their spiritual essence.
Some of them.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm talking about ancient times.
Yeah, okay.
I'm speaking about how the priest, when he wanted to get something done and he went to the so-called prostitute, it wasn't looked down upon because he wasn't just throwing money on the floor and hitting that. She was working with him. Sex magic was real, as we know. It was so many, he could share his problems. There was so many other aspects that went into that. You still see a little bit of it if you go to a strip club now, how the lady's in your ear, or she's letting you talk, yeah, daddy, this and that, and you able to get off the shit you trying to get off. But we are now in a point where that's like working at the post office.
Yeah.
And all of the rappers who are now saying, I want to marry a stripper, this and that, and they don't care how many dudes have lined up and tapped that before. So it has created a murky situation in which you're trying to raise young women to have some pride for themselves and to have, you know.
But you know what's crazy? So what's happening now is those conversations, you know how the real estate agents, you see anything, no matter what, any type of criticism, you're anti-Semitic. You say any type of criticism towards something like this, you hate women, you hate black women.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? So, but what I will say, to be fair,
okay,
there are loads of male rappers who rap just as gross, but just, you know,
worse.
You get what I'm saying? So
worse.
We can't point the finger and say all y'all rap about is sex, because if you listen to the common male MC, he's rapping about the same thing, and drug dealing and killing somebody, and
so in the grand scheme, it's all messed up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that's why I'm trying to tread softly and not saying I'm targeting women here. I'm just saying when I first saw the video after watching Black is King,
facts. I was like,
I understand that. Wow, we right back where we started. And like I said, no matter what you feel about Beyonce, you cannot just look at it unbiasedly. Let's say you didn't know nothing about Beyonce's past and watch those videos and say, okay, this is at least uplifting. When you got your young 7-year-old daughter sitting there watching that, singing Brown Skin Girl, as opposed to, you know, this. And do not underestimate that your 9 and 10-year-old daughter don't know what's going on here, and things of that nature. So just from the optics, I'm saying at some point we got to be more responsible. And I'm not going to target Cardi B as now the enemy, because this runs all the way up to the top, to the real estate agents who will allow this but won't allow you to desecrate their name or anything dealing with their history. They'll shut you down. But destroying ourselves, that's a go.
Right.
So all the crime and all the drug selling and all of that is just as culpable as this, and then some. So we need to look at it all, and this is why I'm saying we have to hold these artists, still allow them to be artists.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, because I have an issue with the I'm being a whore to empower women thing. It just doesn't sit right with me. But I'm not for what I should say, suppressing even your sexuality. You're human. You get what I'm saying? You're human. So, like I said at the beginning of what I was saying, like there's two sides of everybody. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
There's a side of you that wants to read a book. There's a side of you that wants to get into more, you know, intellectual pursuits. And there's a side of you when you go out with your friends, you toss a few, and you want to have fun. So I get the like, you know, the spectrum of where it can go.
From one extreme to the next.
I get where it can go, but I don't want the conversation to just stay, this is the way to empower us, because like trying to flip nigga, like say, okay, it's empowering to us. On the grand scheme, at this point, it's probably too far gone.
Yes.
But I can see how at the beginning, when people started using it as a regular just term, elders were like, yo, wait, time out.
Right.
I get that. You get what I mean?
Absolutely, because of their association
with the word
and what was happening to them traumatically connected to the word.
Right.
You know what I mean? So absolutely. So again, we have to look at it all in its totality so that we don't get locked into one side of that particular story. But we have to understand empowerment means so many different things based on your perception of empowerment.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I mean? So, this fight with young girls. And here's another thing for parents. As you're a parent now, what you understand is, it used to be you could control the narrative inside of your home.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
This is what I'm teaching in my home. My child is outside the home for a couple of hours, but my core values still remain the same. Now, your child is outside of the house, not physically, emotionally and visually, so much more, that you're fighting a war against a system, a total system that's teaching your 12-year-old daughter, it's okay to show your box. It's okay to do this. And you're coming home because you've probably been working all day trying to do these things. And now the war is not just when your child goes out. The war, they have a window to the world with their computers and with their laptops and with their smartphones that we didn't have growing up.
Right.
We didn't have that window to the world besides the actual window. And then when you went outside, you picked up some stuff that was easily corrected when you came in the house. Like, where did you hear that from? And this and that. And now it's your child, by purpose, by design, is being bombarded with so much stuff, and the children are confused because on one end you want to be an artist and you want to express yourself as an artist, but we cannot negate the importance of image and what this does to the psyche and the subconscious, superconscious, and infinite conscious minds of young people, and that goes with all of it. Right? And that's why when I was 18, I rhymed like I was 18. And then as I got older, I'm like, I can't rhyme like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Just for me to be responsible, but I also know that I can't sell no records. You know what I'm saying? Unless I rhyme a certain way. And that's just sad because that's what got rid of Public Enemy. KRS-One, Brand Nubian, X-Clan, Rakim. They wiped all of that out. You know what I mean? Because it was too empowering on a platform that was reaching more people than ever before. As long as hip-hop was in this little box in the Bronx in New York and it was a little fad thing, it was fine. When it got on, thank Run DMC for that. Thank Beastie Boys, Quiet as Kept, because they opened the door for more white kids to want to get in. And then these was large audience. And then when Public Enemy walked through that door, it was literally over. The optics, the sound, the music, the message. And then with KRS-One and Stop the Violence and all of these powerful movements that we were seeing was the reemergence of the civil rights movement just done to music now, and young people, because all revolutionary movements are started with young people. You know what I mean? So when we saw this and they saw this, this had to stop. And then they, like I said, they countered with NWA, but even out of NWA, Express Yourself, came Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? Who came east. He made a pilgrimage east and got with the Hit Squad. You know what I'm saying? And the rest, as we know it, was history. So it's a lot of different facets to it. I'm just saying, we 2020, you come out of COVID with this. I mean, I'm not surprised, but just
again, so you're looking at it as she came out of COVID with this. Her investors, her label is like, you came out of COVID with this. You get what I mean?
Absolutely.
You came out with a smash that's everybody's talking about. It's trending everywhere.
Absolutely.
It's creating discussion.
So job well done.
Basically.
From a label, business, a label standpoint. Right? And that's why I always try to tell people, forget your personal. Why they ain't playing more conscious music on the radio? Because they don't give a shit about that. They care about what's selling. And what sells is what we're going to continue to play. You know what I mean?
I saw a video of one of the girls, like, towards the end of the video. I guess her name is Suki, something like that. She was talking, and she was basically saying, like, I'm a hoe to empower people.
Oh, with the dread.
I'm a hoe to empower people. Like, you got self-respect. That's corny. Like, basically saying that's corny. And that's the message. You see, she's given a platform to say that. You know what I'm saying?
And she was on the phone with Cardi.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? She's given a platform. She's given a push to be able to say certain stuff like that when rappers like Rhapsody You know what I'm saying? When she makes a song counter towards something like this,
Yes.
she's basically shamed, or she's basically told she's being corny or something like that.
Right, because it don't sell.
Right.
You know what I mean? And in this world, as sad as it may seem, it's about who's selling and who not. Who's moving units. So your morality holds no weight. And for those of us who are trying to fight an uphill battle just to add balance to the universe, we get our ass whipped.
Yeah.
Sad as can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somebody just said you got to make the choice to buy and listen to conscious music. Yes, Edwin Wallace. Facts.
These are facts.
That's what you want. There's so much
But watch
music out
this,
there.
Edwin. That's true. I mean, but it has to be a conscious effort because you can find that good music. But I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about when you look at the commercials. I'm talking about when the radio is playing. I'm talking about when the videos are coming on. I'm talking about with the kids. Because remember, the kids want to do the opposite of what their parents are telling them to do. That's why they're kids. You know, your parents want you to do this. You want to rebel. Just like when I used to listen to them Richard Pryor records. And I knew I wasn't supposed to listen to them. But it just was something about it. Not only was he funny, but it was something about the fact that I'm not supposed to be hearing this.
Gotcha, yeah.
That added a different essence. And that's what our children are about today.
Yeah.
Finding their own way. I don't want to... Look at hip-hop. They want to do everything the polar opposite than we did. For the most part. They want to create their own lanes. They want to do their own thing. I don't care about them old school dudes. It's their time. So what Edwin is saying, when you make that conscious effort, sure, as an adult, I can make a conscious effort to get with Cambada. You know, Isaiah Bryant, big up, appreciate the support. You right, we need to do a review on that Cambada album, right? So, or Rhapsody, or Sa Rock, or, you know, Narubi Selah, Star. There's so many dope sisters and dope music out there. But you got to make the conscious effort. But what you're being bombarded with, when you go through your timeline, it's going to be the polar opposite.
Yeah, like I'm not a girl, so I don't know how it feels, but if you're growing up and you know there's scientific studies showing that how the adolescent brain is already susceptible to environment, right?
Yes.
So if you're growing up, all you see is Cardi talking about sex, Meg talking about sex, city girls talking about scamming and sex. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what. And then you see the girls who are getting all the likes on Instagram and stuff like that get that push.
Absolutely.
It's easy to fall into that trap. That's why it's easy for young dudes to fall into drug dealing when they see the neighborhood
because
drug dealer. You know,
what they're seeing in their mind is tangible results.
Yeah.
Here it is, the brother come with the book on his arm and trying to get you to learn something, and the brother pull up in the Maybach, and they just see tangible. Same thing as I wrote in Urban Culture Dakota. These sisters are saying, I got to go to school, get a degree, to come home and make $60,000 a year, and these strippers are sleeping all day. And they go out on a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and make 3 times the amount of money I made. You know what I mean? And they home chilling, and just the optics of it, you go, God damn.
Yeah.
Tax-free money, this, that. And then when the brothers is looking past you because you so-called look regular, even though you a gem, and looking at a chick with her ass out, it's low vibration stuff. It's very low vibration stuff. And the real sisters is like, yo, what the hell I got to do?
So
you know?
it was interesting because somebody posted a picture of online on Twitter, I guess, like after she had got her body done, right? She used whatever money she had got her body done. So somebody commented, say, yo, you could have put that money towards a business or something, but you got your body done. And you could, you know what I'm saying? You could have worked your way to financial freedom, whatever. Somebody commented, if she got her body done because she got to catch one of these ballers and then... And
it's the shortcut. It's the hack. You can get a baller and he going to take care of all of that for her. So our women, not all of them, are being programmed to say, this is about my body now. My body is beautiful. Look at my inbox or my N1. Not N1, what do they call it?
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. Yeah. And, you know, people are sitting there watching, adoring me. But again, I truly believe that this is a part of the separation we speak about. Those who are still scavengers, who are bottom feeders, there's going to be some separation. Let them live. It's nothing you could do about them. They're not ready to elevate and do anything on a higher vibration anyway.
Right.
And they sitting there laughing at you with all that hotep nigga shit and all of that. And they living, and in their minds, that's what it's really all about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is where we at, and this war is on multiple levels. Now you're not just playing records, and I told you, playing a record over and over and over again becomes a chant, right? And that chant is no different than you meditating in your room by yourself to bring something into the reality as you desire. And if you keep chanting these records, and then when 15,000 people are chanting the same chant, or 15 million across the world, obviously, and it's an accelerated process, the universe deliver that shit at a faster rate, as opposed to me chanting by myself trying to get me a new goddamn Cadillac. you understand my point? So this is the war, because it's all about mental vibration anyway.
Yeah.
Stealing and co-opting your brain and putting that shit into like a box and getting what I want.
Yeah.
And as opposed to that two little brains over there, we're not worried about them.
Yeah.
We're worrying about the hive mind. We're worrying about enough people. I need to charge this shit up right here to give me what I want. So they just put out something that's going to have 15 million girls charged up and accelerate their agenda. On the sideline, they're scattered. Girls are saying, I would never do that. But they're not in a hive mind together to destroy that.
Yeah.
And they just complaining about it.
Yeah.
That's the sorcery that goes in with that.
Whoa.
No, it's deep shit. It's really deep shit.
All right.